Hi everyone, this is channel Reddit Confessions. So this is my first pro-revenge story. Perhaps it is my best story. I still smile to myself when I remember this. It is long, but it does span over a decade. Scroll to the TLDR at the end if you want. So YA back in junior high school, I had a best friend who was my neighbor. Let's call her Michelle. Michelle was cool, but her family was intense. Her mother, let's call her PB for problematic behavior, had a very loose connection with reality. This will be important later. Michelle was the oldest of 6 children. Her next sibling, a year younger than me, we'll call CH. Now CH was known throughout the neighborhood and school for being a notorious troublemaker. Vandalism, pranks, petty disturbances, nothing too major, but constant. We all knew it was him, but he was clever enough to avoid crossing clear lines that would get him caught. As he grew older, his behavior escalated. He had a strange habit of bothering Michelle and especially targeting her female friends. When Michelle moved on to high school, I was a year behind. I was stuck at the same school with CH. I didn't have many friends and was a quiet, shy girl. CH used every opportunity to pick on me, knocking books out of my hands, grabbing my backpack, saying wildly inappropriate things under his breath. This was the 90s, and unfortunately, the school didn't take such behavior seriously back then. He never did it in front of adults, so I had no one to turn to. For 2 years I endured. Michelle's mum, PB, had some unusual ideas. When Michelle was about 16, PB thought she was going through early menopause and decided to have another baby to fix it, claiming it would delay the process. At Michelle's birthday party, I found a $20 bill outside on the street. I was thrilled because I was saving up for a leather jacket and my mom was matching whatever I saved. That made $40 to go toward my goal. Michelle was happy for me, but PB insisted I give the money to Michelle as a birthday gift, even though Michelle herself said no. PB kept pushing until I gave in. Michelle, being the kind person she was, secretly gave the money back to me later. One day, PB was complaining about CH's behavior, and I half-jokingly suggested military school. She got very serious and said, "No way. Military school makes boys confused." She once told me that if a sick person sneezed near you, you could catch all kinds of things. I never told her my sister was part of the LGBTQ community. After I moved on to high school, CH couldn't target me anymore. So he went nuclear. He told his mother that I and another of Michelle's close friends were romantically involved, a total lie. PB went absolutely ballistic. The next time I called their house, she screamed every insult imaginable into the phone. At least I wasn't the other girl PB actually tried to run her over with her car. Yes, really. She drove up onto the sidewalk. The girl had to leap out of the way. But there were no witnesses, and PB's ex, the father of her older kids, was a high-ranking police officer. So this woman seemed to get away with anything. Eventually, they sold their house and moved away, because PB couldn't live next to people like that. Michelle and I lost touch, since we no longer went to the same school and her mother controlled everything she did. I lost a good friend, and didn't make new ones until I transferred schools in 11th grade. Fast forward many years. I'm out of school, working at a grocery store. And who walks in? CH. He works in the produce section. We both smoked back then, so we often ran into each other on breaks. Strangely, he acted like we were old friends. I wasn't, but I played along. I'm someone who believes in long-term patience when it comes to karma. I started observing him and eventually crafted a plan. Thanks to my background in psychology, I could easily spot emotional vulnerabilities. His internalized fear of being misperceived, inherited straight from his mum's outdated views. So the plan was on. Phase 1. One day, he made a negative comment about LGBTQ people. I let out a frustrated sigh and said, very seriously, come on. Everyone already assumes you're part of the community. We just don't bring it up because we're being polite. It's obvious. You should just be honest about it. Now, no one actually thought that. But how do you prove that people aren't talking behind your back? The more you deny it, the more paranoid it makes you. I told him multiple times over the next few weeks. Threw in every stereotype I could tie to him. He was always clean. His hair and nails were perfect. He dressed really well. He cooked. I said things like, you just give off a vibe. I repeated that often. Phase 2, then I got my friends involved. Some of my guy friends started coming into the store and giving subtle compliments or flirtatious smiles. Each time, had run to me afterward, freaking out. Why do they keep doing that? I told you, man. You give off that vibe. Even some of my female friends would chat him up and say things like, you'd be perfect for my guy friend. Serge started trying to change his appearance. Grew his hair out, dressed messier, stopped taking care of his nails. But the vibe followed him. Also, he thought. One day he saw 2 women kiss and made a disgusted face. I said, okay, now I really think you're not straight. He looked shocked. I explained, every straight guy I know thinks that's attractive. He checked in with his buddies. The answer, more confusion. Phase 3, completion. Then it happened. He came to me one day and quietly admitted that he had gotten drunk at a party and ended up kissing another guy. Now, of course, a single action like that doesn't define someone's orientation. But in his worldview, it meant everything. I just stared at him for a moment, then laughed. Not politely, I laughed hard. Then I told him the truth. I had made it all up. No one ever thought he was gay. I sent my friends in. I created the entire scenario. And then I said, but hey, it looks like I was accidentally right. He looked crushed. Then I stopped laughing and told him, you tormented me for years. You ruined a friendship that meant the world to me. You got your mom to scream at me and someone else. All I did was make you question your image. That's justice. We're even now. He didn't retaliate. In fact, he respected it. We spoke, now and then after that, always civil. Then one day, he was just gone, quit. Moved away. Never saw him again. And I still smile about it. Hodder, he harassed me for years and made me lose a best friend. Years later, I planted the idea that everyone thought he was gay, let it fester, and then revealed the truth after he confessed to kissing a guy and told him I had engineered the entire thing.